UnArt Television is reporting today from the third day, the 19th May in 2013, the 22nd Wave-Gotik-Treffen Leipzig. I've got some special guests for an interview on the band Shiv-R. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you very much that you take the time with me.
Thank you.
Shiv-R is playing today on Wave-Gotik-Treffen at Werk 2 Halle A. I think it's the first gig on WGT. Correct?
That's yeah. First time Ben and I have ever been to WGT.
Yeah.
And Mark's been here a few times before, but yeah, definitely first time.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you arrive?
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, we booked this show. It was organised by our label, Infacted, and then we come and we make a small tour based around this because I live in Sydney, Ben lives in Bangkok, and Mark's in the Netherlands.
Wow!
And so it's difficult for us to do shows in Europe so easily. So first was booked WGT, and then we booked a small tour around it. So last weekend we did Switzerland and Copenhagen, and next year we do a few shows.
Next week.
What did I say? What did I say?
Time is slowing down.
Yeah, the UK. So and then we go back. So a very short tour. Pack a lot in.
Okay, many miles.
Yeah.
You have supported last year and in 2010 Combi Christ, Nagma, Othico, and many more.
Yes.
Can you tell me some impressions of these support tour?
Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of these tours we do, touring with Nagma is the best because Thomas is awesome to have backstage, he's excellent to travel with, he knows how to have a good time. Yeah. Touring with the other bands, Hosiko is really amazing too, we had some really good times with them. Eric is like ridiculously nice guy. And yeah, after the tour we were chatting with email as well and made good friends there, and hopefully like we want to do some gigs in Mexico together. So we got along with them really good. Combi Christ is, I don't think I'll ever support them again. Okay. It's very much, you just get completely, ignored by the sound engineering people. It's all very Combi Christ. And then I'm like trying to get their attention to say we need these DI boxes and we need to set up our gear and plug everything in, and you just get no attention. It's a bit undignified, so I don't know if okay. So that's a bit difficult, as opposed to when you have such an amazing experience with someone so cool to tour with, like Thomas Rayner or Eric from Hosiko, where you get such an awesome time. So we have mixed experiences touring with other bands, but I think it's good for a band at our level to tour with bigger bands because we're still quite a new name. So it's good. We're still getting the name out there, and playing to some built-in crowds when you support a bigger band. So I think it's interesting. Well, because this tour, apart from WGT, we're headlining everywhere, which is kind of new for us, apart from Australia. This is a bit of a big step for us, doing headlining shows on our own. So I guess it helped a bit to do shows with other bands before.
I think these tours are breathtaking too. You need many power on this.
Many what? Sorry?
Many power.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, check that. Meat power.
Your EP, Shadow Between Worlds, was released in January this year.
It was January.
It was January. Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, because we were talking before. I thought it was February. He said January, so he's right now. You've proven him right.
On this EP, 11 songs. Could the fans await a new album soon? Or?
Yeah. Well, we put everything into the EP because we didn't want to make it like just like an extension of the last album or something leading up to the next album. We wanted it to be really good on its own because, I mean, a lot of bands are doing EPs, like, you know, like Skrillex, for example. He's like won like Grammy awards, but he's only ever done EPs as far as I know, and like it seems like EPs are kind of important. So we wanted to put everything into like something that's really succinct and you know doesn't. You know, isn't too long with any filler or anything like that. So, yeah, we just extended it, and we had some collaborations on there as well, which we thought were better to keep for an EP than an album. Yeah. So we wanted to make it really special. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, you know, we did put a lot of work into it. We've both had other projects before where, you know, EPs, they can tend to be, you know, the throwaway tracks. It's the tracks that didn't make the album kind of thing. And we didn't want to do that kind of thing. We still want it to be connected to the album form. We've got all those remixes on there, which are from the album previously. Yeah. But, you know, I think in terms of the sound and that, we did actually manage to break away from a lot from what we did on This World Arrays. So I think that's pretty good. And we're hoping the third album is different again.
Okay. Yeah. Fine. Well, your video.
Yeah.
Oh God, which one?
The
Devil's Night.
Hey.
I like it very much. How long have you been worked on it? Wow, it's amazing.
For the end? Yeah. Well, it was made. The main force behind that video was our friend Henry. He does production for his own company, H-Bomb Productions, and it was his idea to make this video for us. Yeah, and he put a lot of expense and a lot of effort into it. Yeah. So we worked with him to develop the storyboard, and yeah, he wanted to, I think he wanted to make a full-length zombie porn movie, and he wanted to make like a really good like showreel demo for what he can do. Yeah. So he's like, he wants to make a film clip for us. So we're like, hell yeah, okay, that sounds good. So that's why it's like such amazing. You know, really good quality, like it had like red cameras and like on like tracks and you know, big lights and really amazing production for that one, which is really cool to have for a first video clip. Yeah. So yeah, it took a long time. It was all shot in one day. It took like maybe 24 hours for all day. We were just there until like all night, and it was shot in the place where it was shot was actually where the producer was living, which is like they do like it's kind of like a warehouse in Sydney where it's also a dungeon and they have parties like private parties and things like that, and so everything was there ready to go, and went through, and it's got some interesting feedback as well. Yeah, I think. Okay. People miss the point. I mean, people like say, you know, like you raped that girl, or you know, the girl's hurt, and I think, you know, all this, like, you can go to any city in the planet, you can go and people will have those kinds of things done to them voluntarily all the time. You know, it's not unwilling. It's and, you know, this was a dungeon where everything was set up already. You know, these things happen all the time everywhere. It's not like we hurt some innocent young girl. It's something else. So, yeah, we had some fun with it.
Okay. Well, it's a personal question. How did your interest in music begin, and which was the first instrument you've ever played?
Oh yeah. We've both, I think, been into music. I think actually Peter longer. I got into it as a teenager. My
really?
first
No, it was earlier than...
No, I'm pretty sure I was a teenager. I know my life.
we went to the same school, actually. And I remember, yeah, but you were doing like performances like at the school assemblies and stuff, and that was very young.
Yeah, my first instrument was trumpet. Don't laugh.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My first instrument was actually the drum kit. Cousin of mine had a kit when I was 5 or 6, and I used to go over to his house and bash away at it, and not having an absolute clue what I was doing. But yeah, that's how I learned. That's where I picked it up from, and I'm hyperactive naturally, so I guess I'm just born to be a drummer.
Okay. Yeah, and I started. My dad's a guitarist, so me and my sister were taught straight away. Like as long as I can remember. I think when I was like 5 or 4 or 5, I was playing guitar, so always, and then started into electronic music. You know, like growing up, of course, it's black metal, and then then Ben gave me a copy of Bunker 7, and I was like, I don't know, kind of for me it sounded like black metal, but you could make it at home on a computer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, let's make things at home on a computer, and then started getting more and more electronic, and it's kind of where everything happened from that progression, really.
Is there an instrument you can't play but you want to learn?
Yeah, vocals.
Okay. Internet, is it a blessing or curse for you?
We couldn't live without it. Yeah. I mean, obviously, Pete and I, we live in different cities, and you know, we're writing music together, and it comes down to file sharing. We're sharing a lot of files. They're 24-bit. They're huge. Yeah. And if you would imagine 10 years ago, the logistics of writing music that way, sharing those files, would have just been a massive headache. These days, it's somewhat less of a headache. It's still a headache for me because I live in Bangkok and the internet's not great, but
it's not great in Australia either.
Yeah. So in that sense, yeah, the existence of Shiv-R is actually thanks to the internet.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, you know, we communicate with our labels like online, and all of our promotions, you know, online. But I don't know if it would. I'm sure it would still exist without it. Like, it's still possible.
We'll mail DVDs to each other.
Yeah. Well, of course, I think we'd make a lot more money if we didn't have the internet. But then again, we wouldn't have the relationship with the labels, so it would be very different. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. It's impossible to say.
If God would stand before you and would say, shit, I've panned for the mankind, can you give me a hot tip to do something better? What would you answer?
Don't.
Keep your filthy hands off our mankind.
No, you shouldn't have started in the first place. Yeah, I don't know. It's also temporary. It's also virus-like. I mean, that's such a cliche to say, but like things are so. That's like. It's like in the song "God Is Art." It means like everything is shit. Like we make music, but it's still just something shit that we do. It doesn't mean anything. It's about, you know, just existing and self-preservation and keeping food in our mouths, and you know, that's pretty much what life is all about. And we have, you know, we you know, create art, or maybe we just go and see a movie or something, and that recharges us to go back to the job and be, you know, productive for another week and be a productive member of society. And that's kind of what it all seems to be about. You just be productive, and then you do certain things, whether it's religion or making music, and that gives you power to continue on doing it. And what's the point? So I don't know, if there was life or no life, I don't think it would make a difference.
Okay. This evening you were playing at Wave at
9:20.
Okay. I will say thank you very much for this great interview, and say for this evening, break a leg.
Dankeschön.